Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and good night, whenever and wherever you might be watching this video. Thank you for stopping by for episode 2 of our review of the Real Life Numbers mod, US Heartland Edition, version 1.2.2. Today I'm going to be talking to you about the crop yield. It's one of the features that this mod provides for us. The professor, who's the mod maker, I just call him the professor because it's his occupation. He's gone through a lot of research to get as realistic numbers as he could for, a time period, average annual yields from 2009 to 2018. He used data from the Eurostat, from the European Union, and from the USDA for 12 regions in the US to get as broad a area as he could for these numbers, so that they could be as accurate as is reasonable. Now, in the crop yield, if you open up the zip file, there's going to be a Lua for real numbers crop yield. This file does not have the data for the various fruit types. This file is what has all the equations and other directions on where things are calculated from, pulled from, etc. If you want to make any changes to the crop yields or basically anything in this mod, the base numbers will be found in the real numbers initialization Heartland. Yes, I really slurred that one up, but whatever. You can find it there. That's where all the data for each of the various fruit types, the animals, the equipment, the settings for the farmlands. Actually, we might go over that one later. That's where you're going to find all the data to make the actual modifications. So, jump back over to the PDF. All right. So crop yields do vary from year to year, from region to region. So obviously this is not going to be exact for any one region. It does take an average over a broader area. So if you happen to know the numbers in your specific area and you really want to get this down to a T, you can go into that file that I mentioned to make those modifications. The file does include stuff such as, let me just pull up the file here so I can read it straight from it. Alright, so it's got crop density. This is for each of the different fruit types. It's a different number. Crop density, crop yield, yield range, the variable, seed density for when you're planting, TSM. Now he does explain what that is at one point, something like total seed mass, or we'll get up to that probably when we get to the planting section. Plants per square meter, germination percentage, seed usage per square meter, seed price per 100 kilograms, crop price per 100 kilograms. No, I do not currently know what the difference is, but we'll figure that out. Seeder calibration, that one is set to 1 on all fruit types so that it doesn't increase or decrease the total number. If you want to adjust the seeder calibration to increase the seeding rate on a specific fruit type, you can increase that 1 to like 1.01 for a 1% increase, or you can decrease it to 0.99 for a 1% decrease. He's got the nitrogen, phosphate, and potassium numbers and growth days. Now, growth days, if you're using seasons, well, if you're using this version, it has been disabled because seasons has taken over the calculation of growth days for the various fruit types. Now that I got this file open, let me just run through here and tell you all the different fruits that he has gotten this data on and that is available in this mod. If any of these fruits are not on the map, then they're just ignored in here. if there are any fruits on your multi-fruit map that is not included in his list, then it uses the undefined parameters, which is it actually uses whatever the map calculates, and it has some undefined parameters such as the nitrogen, phosphate, potassium that it does pull off of just for the calculations to be all correct. But he cannot verify or vouch for whatever the map maker has set those specific fruit types to be. It could be wildly unrealistic or pretty close, so you may see higher or lower yields or prices for those various fruit types. But his list is pretty extensive, so it is likely that he's covered 90-95% of all possible fruit types that we've seen in the game anyways. So this is in alphabetical order. He has alfalfa, asparagus, barley, beans. Yeah, it's just bean and beans, two different ones. Looks like green beans. Maybe it's just based on whatever the map maker may have put, just bean or beans, so he had to cover both options. Black beans, cabbage, canola, carrot, clover, coffee, cotton, cranberry, dry grass, semi-dry grass windrow, dry luzerne, grass, hemp, hops. Yeah, I'm gonna butcher some of these. Incaris grass, which he notes can be found on the Kribach map. Lettuce, lucerne, lucerne, and luzerne. Probably the same thing is my guess, looking at the numbers. They too appear identical, so it's probably the same fruit. It's just some map makers may spell it differently, so we wanted to cover both bases on that. Maize, millet, mustard, oat, oilseed radish, onion, peanut, peas, poplar, poppy, potato, red cabbage, rice, rye, sorghum. I've never heard of that one. Soybean, spelt, Sudan grass, sugar beet, sugar cane, sunflower, tobacco, triticale, weed, wheat, white cabbage. So that is the list of all the different fruit types that he's obtained data for and included in the mod. Again, any other fruit types not listed, we'll use whatever the map maker has preset. So, on the map that I'm playing, I did do the shortcut command to get some of the numbers out into the log file, so I just can read to you without having to do the calculations on each individual one, what the yield numbers would be for what is available on the map I'm playing. We're starting off with barley. The base yield is only 2,989. Then you got the factors of no plow loss, no weeding loss, lime gain, fertilizing gain. The max yield for barley is 5,977 liters per hectare. Canola has a max yield of only 2,640, so significantly less. Cotton is at 5,522. Dry grass is, 30,278, so quite a bit of dry grass per hectare. Regular grass, or wet grass, I'm assuming, is 26,897. Maize, corn, is 15,617 liters per hectare. So far, besides the grass, that is the leader of the actual grain crops. Cereal crop, actually, cereal that green. Oat is at max yield of 5,811. Oilseed radish, we're not going to bother reading that one because you can't harvest it. Poplar, that has a max yield of 28,200. Potato Max yield of 51,107. So we have a new leader. So you get the most liters per hectare on the potato so far. Soybean is 4,510. Sugar beet, 50,886. So it is just a little bit under potato. So those two root crops are very close. Sugar cane is... Okay, we have a winner here. Sugar cane is 115,743 liters per hectare. That is a lot of yield. Sunflowers at 3,883. And wheat is at 5,952. So your grains there, the wheat, the barley, canola, oats, they're all within a fairly close range, 2,000 something, 5,000 something. Your root crops do a lot more. Your sugarcane is by far the most. Now, we will go over planting and seeding in another episode. You will need to, if you're looking for the most profitable fruit type, it may not be sugarcane just because it has the highest yield, depending on a number of factors, including cost to actually plant it, cost of equipment to harvest it, etc. But if you want yield, that's where you're going to go. Root crops, sugarcane, etc. These kinds of numbers will help you determine how many hectares you're going to need to plant. Say you're raising some horses, and you know you need to have, to feed the horses for a full year, you have to have, say, 20,000 liters of oats. Well, if you're getting a max yield of 5,811 liters per hectare, that's the max yield. You know you can reduce, you're not likely to get the full thing unless you're doing your weeding, your plowing, your fertilizing, liming, and all that. You could probably aim for about 5,000 liters per hectare, meaning you're going to need at least 4 hectares to get your 20,000 liters to feed your horses for the full year. So that's one of the values of this tool, is being able to calculate how many fields you need to plant of each type of crop in order to feed your livestock, or looking at the price of the commodity. You want to know how many liters you're going to sell in order to buy that new John Deere that you want. So you know you need like 100,000 liters, and you're only going to get 5,000 liters per hectare. So you need, what is that, 20 hectares of oat or wheat or whatever the case may be. All right, to recap, the calculations of formulas is found in the real numbers crop yield Lua within the zip file. To adjust the numbers for each fruit type, again, it's the real numbers initialization Heartland Lua file. That's where it'll go to adjust most of the things you're going to want to adjust to customize your game. Thank you for watching this episode. I do hope it was informative. If you have any questions, you want me to go over anything, test out anything to see how it works, such as logs, because I've yet to see anything about price of logs. May not even affect that. We can test that out in game for you. So until next time, I hope you have a great evening. Bye-bye.